Thank you. Minister, thank you. I'm particularly delighted it's you that's here, although I would welcome Minister Donnelly also, but I'm particularly delighted it's you for reasons that will become apparent. So I'm going to skip all the applauds for Sláintecare because we're all behind it. I think there isn't any lack of political will whatsoever. I don't think there ever has been. I don't think that's an issue. And it's not a lack of money because we have had successive ministers put huge money behind it. And we see evidence. There is evidence on the ground. There are new primary care centres. The system was and aspects of it as it was planned to work is working. I think the race and resignations and the frustrations have not occurred because of government lack of will or because of funding. I wonder how the HSE does its business, and that would be a question that I would ask in this regarding some, and I suppose, and some of the decisions, noting your facial remarks or your facial comment, but I think that there are some difficulties here that warrant answers to our questions. For instance, the HSE works alongside organisations in the delivery of services, particularly in the disability services, where they're aligned. We don't have pay parity between the Section 38 and Section 39 organisations, so we end up with migration of staff, we end up with frontline service challenges as a consequence of that. So there needs to be some innovation in changing and fixing that and dealing with it. And even where there's HSE and TUSA funded staff under the same roof, at times there are differences in how they are funded and their terms and conditions of employment. Many of the services that provide residential services for people with disabilities have been chronically underfunded for years, and we need to really seriously address that because as people are living longer, the needs are changing, and we need to be ensured that these services that have been so faithful in the delivery, the likes of Walk in Drimna, who run the most incredible. I had the honour of speaking at an event of theirs the other day, and I mean they're just extraordinary in their delivery. But what are we doing to ensure that they're future-proofed in the delivery of that service? On Friday last, you travelled to Donegal, and without getting into the specifics of that for a load of other reasons. But let's take the example there of decision-making and management decision-making. But it isn't unique to that service. And while, others, over the weekend then, I had a lot of other concerned parents, frightened parents for what happens when my child needs to go into residential care of the state. How do I know who is advocating, who is going to support, who is going to make sure safeguarding is in place? And one of the organisations that contacted me over the weekend said, and their thing was, let me see, I have the comment as it wrote it down, that they have a large number of safeguarding issues where the organisation has been trying to work with the HSE for the last 5 years, and they've reached a situation where the organisation will have to move the individual to a new house, and the HSE won't fund it. The organisation has asked them to meet with the families involved, and they've refused. The house has been deemed by HICWA to be non-compliant due to the safeguarding issues, and the solutions that they're putting forward, HSE's 07, are refusing to engage with them. So there's something there that needs to be discussed or opened, and maybe it's an impediment within themselves, to be fair, that is not of their fault, but we need to be solution focused in how we ensure that our services are, that the political will, the plans in Sláintecare, the funding, and then the actual administrative accountability is put in place to make sure that we are getting the delivery that our people demand and absolutely deserve. Thank you. Not bad.